Hi everyone, the day is finally here. We can talk about carbohydrates. I'm so excited. In this video, I'd like to answer three main questions. One, what are carbohydrates? Are they that evil food that are made out to be? Two, what happens when you eat carbs? How are they processed in the body? How goes it in the body? Three, what is the difference between good carbs and bad carbs? Okay, which carbs you should be eating without feeling guilty about, obviously everything in moderation, and which carbs you should be, don't be upset, but limiting, right? Indulge when you indulge, but they should not be part of your daily meal plans because there are carbs out there that sabotage our health goals and results. You ready? Let's get started. All right, let's start with question number one. What are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are one of the three main macronutrients, if you remember, your macros being your protein, your fat, and your carbs. They come in different forms. Today I'm going to talk about the three main sources of carbohydrates. Ready? Fiber, starch, sugar. Fiber, starch, sugar. Fiber, you'll find that in your plant-based foods, your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, your nuts, your not your nuts as in crazy. There's fiber in nuts like peanuts, walnuts, almonds, and nuts are not nuts. Nuts are great. Fiber is important for our body because what they do as they're passing through the body, think of them as the broom or the brush or the vacuum. It's kind of sweeping away, if that's how you sweep or bounce. It's sweeping away some bad stuff with it, which is cool. So that's fiber. Starch, you'll also find starch in fruits, vegetables, legumes like your beans, peas, lentils, chickpeas, your whole grains like pasta, rice, things like that, oats. And then sugar. Sugar. Two main sources of sugar. One is natural sugar that you'll find in fruits, some of the vegetables, and even milk. And the second main source of sugar is added sugar. Those are the sugars that you'll find in processed foods. Your cookies, your cakes, your candy, your donuts, sugary drinks, all of that goodness that is not so good for you. Okay, so that is, or those are the three main elements: starch, fiber, sugar, or fiber, starch, sugar, FSS. Great. Next, let's talk about how is that process? What does your body do with carbohydrates? Which is kind of going into question number three, which is good carbs versus bad carbs. Hang in there and let's get to that. Okay, I'm going to try to explain all of that without getting too scientific or too nerdy for you. Carbohydrates. When you eat them, your body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose, really sugar, which becomes the fuel that your body runs on. That's why carbohydrates are the main source of energy for your body. Now, not all fuel is good. Not all carbs are created equal. Not all carbs are good, right? The way I like to think about carbohydrates is two main buckets: simple carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. Okay, simple carbohydrates are carbohydrates that are broken down into your body very quickly. Like you eat them, your body digests them so quickly, and you feel hungry pretty shortly after that. Simple carbs like your sugary drinks, your added sugar processed food, your cakes, your cookies, your donuts, and all of that, right? But also simple carbs could be from healthy sources like fruits and vegetables. The difference between fruits and vegetables and sugary drinks and cakes and cookies and all of that, that kind of simple carbs is stripped out of nutrients. When you eat fruits and you eat vegetables and drink milk, yes, you're getting sugar, but you're also getting nutrients like vitamins, like fiber, like minerals. So you're not just getting empty calories. That's the difference between those two kinds of simple carbs, okay? The danger then becomes with simple carbs is that if you're eating a lot of empty calories and your body's turning it into energy right away, so an immediate boost of energy. If you don't use that energy right away, guess what your body does? Say, you know what? You're not using it? Fine. I'm turning that into fat. So that's the risk. The other risk of eating empty calories and simple carbs like their added sugar is that you feel hungry pretty quickly after you eat it. So you eat more of it. You eat more of it. Now remember, your body's breaking that into sugar, which means your body's now having to inject insulin to move that sugar from your bloodstream to your cells. Excess glucose, excess sugar will prevent your body from producing insulin, which causes what? You guessed it, diabetes, which then can lead to other diseases like heart disease. Listen, I'm not trying to scare you, but it's important to understand that process, okay? So that's simple carbs. Complex carbs are complicated. They take longer to digest and be processed in your body, which means they are keeping you full longer. Your tummy is full and happy for a longer time, and they're giving you a sustained source of energy. Complex carbs can be found in your legumes, like your beans, your peas, your chickpeas, your lentils. They can be found in your starchy vegetables like potatoes, broccoli, peas, carrots, and they can be found in whole grains. Um, Examples of healthy complex carbs, your brown rice, your old-fashioned oats or steel-cut oats, your quinoa, your farro, your barley, your whole wheat pasta, all of that goodness, okay? So simple carbs, complex carbs. What do you want to do? You want to eat more complex carbs. You want to stay away, really, at the end of the day, you want to stay away from things that have been processed and stripped out of nutrients, like white flour. Instead, choose whole wheat flour. We're talking about good carbs versus bad carbs. I don't cook or bake with white flour. I use whole wheat flour. I don't cook white rice. I eat brown rice. I try to eat sweet potatoes. I eat a lot of quinoa. I eat a lot of farro. Those are kind of the healthy choices you can start making. You substitute. I eat whole wheat pasta. And now you can find so many kinds of pastas out there. I get pasta made out of lentils, for example. It is so good. Healthy food can be so delicious. So stay away from refined carbs. So no white flour, no white sugar, eat less of that, limit it as much as possible, and focus on your healthy carbs that are wholesome, packed with minerals, fibers, and nutrients. I gave you some examples. I'm happy to give you more, but that's really good carbs and bad carbs. I'm going to go ahead and use a visual to help you remember the difference between simple carbs and complex carbs. Ready? Let me grab my props over here. A piece of paper, a wood log. Possibly come from the same source, a tree. One has been processed into simple carbs. One has been left wholesome, just chopped into a wood log, right? Let's say you're building a fire. You feed the fire a piece of paper. What happens? It goes up in flames right away. You want to keep that fire going? You keep adding paper. You keep adding paper. That's what happens with simple carbs in our bodies. We keep eating it, eating it, eating it. Some of it, most of it could be empty calories, which bad stuff. That's when we get in trouble, okay? So simple carbs. This is a piece of paper. Your body digests it pretty quickly, processes it, it's done. This is complex carbs. It takes longer to light up. It burns longer, keeping you fuller longer. That fire keeps going, right? Those are complex carbs. I hope that visual helps you remember. And that is the story of carbohydrates. I hope you found this valuable. Let me know, ask questions, engage with me, drop me a comment. The more you engage, the more I know this was valuable information for you. All right, I will see you next time, everyone. Take care.